Hey, how's it going?
Oh, good.
Now they can hear us. Do a mic check.
It's me. I'm the mic check. I get it. It's funny. I'm miking check. A mic. I'm good. I bought my E3 beer today during lunch break. I'm ready to go. I got this is nice and mellow for when things are fine. And I got some stronger IPAs for when things get stressful.
Good. I'm sorry. I
I'm
wasn't really listening to you. I had an echo, so I just kind of tuned you out.
That's fine. Let me open up Stream Elements and everything.
Yeah. Got this. We're gonna get going here real soon, everybody. Be sure I have the questions available.
Should open up like a good rundown of what just happened because I don't remember all of it already.
Yeah, same. Should probably find one of those, huh? Let's see.
It's Mike the Bathrobe Legend. Oh gosh, it's me. I'm not in a bathrobe.
Summer
anymore,
Game
sadly.
Fest 2021. Everything.
Do people still do like the live blogging? Is that a thing anymore?
We should get back into. We should bring it back, Mike. That's what we should do.
No, thank you.
Everything announced that Geoff Keighley. Hey, here we go. IGN. Adam Bankhurst. He's going to help us out.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
You're a hero.
The show had a weird vibe, huh? I guess we could talk about it on the thing. We'll get started. Okay.
Did it? I'm curious. I'm already curious about this. All right.
Not like a bad one. It was just like I guess it was just the pacing more than anything else.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
it. All right.
Is this it? Is this the one? This isn't a full episode, but is this the 1,000 concurrence?
I don't know. It's hard to tell if that.
It's hard with you giving stuff away for free, Geoff.
Well, I'm sorry.
You should.
I thought I should answer the question that I posed.
You can answer it. Well, you posed the question yourself because you wanted to answer it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Don't play dumb with me. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That part's not true. Okay, they can hear us. They can't see us though, and that's the part we should probably figure out because I don't have you in here. I should have known.
I heard that I'm better heard, not seen, anyways. That's the thing people say to ugly people. It's me. Do any of these places like have rules about drinking on streams? Now that more people are watching, is that a thing we need to worry about? Am I allowed to drink this beer?
I think you're allowed to drink on stream. You know, it's legal where you are and your legal age, and
like if it was a movie, I would have my rating altered because there's depictions of alcohol consumption, right?
Yeah, but I think I do we're for an explicit audience or whatever it is. I guess I don't know.
An explicit audience.
I couldn't think of the word. I don't know. A mature audience. I don't know if that's an option.
Oh, that is nice. Ooh.
On Twitch, it's never an option to have a mature audience. Or on YouTube. I don't know.
Oh, that is refreshing. If any of you guys are within striking distance of Cincinnati, you can get Rheingeist Cheetah. That is fancy. I do always feel bad drinking because, like, obviously some people struggle with drinking, and I never want to be like, drinking's fun and great, and you're missing out if you're having a problem, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me make sure that you can hear the audio. I'll probably have to turn off this.
Go for beer ads.
Ooh. You can hear that?
Oh, I hear it.
All right, we're good then.
Man, it looks like we're running pretty well, huh?
Yeah, don't jinx it, but when we're live, and you know what I did is ask for the boost, and then I just paid for the last like 6 boosts myself, and so we got to 30 boost, and now we're even higher in terms of kilobits per second than we were last time. So
just take a portion out of that for my future Twitch money or whatever, super chat money. I want to help.
It was like, you know, in total, it was like $20 or something. So, yeah,
we should have done that a while ago. Then.
Well, I mean, to get to the last 6, like earlier, like before I asked people to help us boost it, we needed like 17, and that would have been, you know, significant amount of money. But yeah, everyone's happy about Elden Ring. We'll get to it. We got a lot of super chats happening already. We'll answer those. I think we'll probably just answer them as we go, right? Because especially if they're relevant to the topic at hand.
Well, yeah, this isn't a normal show. Yeah,
this isn't a normal show.
Super chats as they come in, right? I mean, this is basically a question and answer show as far as I'm concerned. I assume anything that's interesting, people are going to ask us about it, right? And if something comes up we want to talk about, I'm sure we'll get to it. Okay,
cool. I got the rundown here. I'll just do a quick intro, and then we'll get right into it. All right, Mike, you ready? All right.
Yes.
Let's do this. 5, 4. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. E3 has begun. It began with Summer Game Fest. Geoff Keighley took the stage and gave us one thing after another. It was occasionally he stopped to talk to his friends like Hideo Kojima, but I was entertained, and I hope my friend Mike Minotti was as well. Go ahead and say hi to everybody, Mike.
Do you think Geoff Keighley would be mad if you were like, that was E3? He'd be like, no, that was the Summer Game Fest. That's separate.
Yes, probably a little bit, because he kept saying, he said the words "my vision" like 8 times, and I'm like, your vision is to show a bunch of trailers to people, but okay, whatever, I get it. I'm sure it was a lot of
vision.
It was fun.
That vision.
You're right. I shouldn't be so dismissive, but I know it was a lot of work. I'm sure it was a lot of work, and you know, I think my expectations were set pretty well for this thing in terms of not being disappointed by what we got, but I saw a lot of people who were like, and not like, you know, the normal chatters who are always, you know, in chat, everyone's always bored about everything. No one's ever been entertained on YouTube ever.
We can absolutely not watch chat when our segment airs.
Oh, I know. Yes, we are going to make a blood pact on that. I will not even glance at it.
I can never know what mean things people are going to say about us, because they will not like it, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm positive. Our thing is on Saturday during the E3 thing. In case you were wondering what we're talking about, we have a small little skit, is how I'm trying to frame it, because it makes it sound really like nothing, which it is. I forget what's going. Oh yeah, some people who I thought would be like kind of forgiving and understanding of like what the show was going to be from Geoff Keighley were still like, no, this is boring. This sucks. I hate this. And I'm like, oh okay. I was just like, there was the level of game announcements was what I expected, and then I knew Elden Ring would be there. So I'm like, this, you know, as long as he closes with Elden Ring, I think most people are going to be pretty happy.
Right.
But I guess
started strong, ended strong. I mean, it is quote unquote too long, but what's too long? It was just long enough to, you know, get everybody in there that wanted to be in there, right? Was it probably too long to be exciting constantly? Sure. And there's, you know, weird things like Overwatch 2 shows up to show us 2 skins. Like that's the most you can do. And that's, you know, weird. And, you know, again, something like that, you almost wish that they could just show it real quick. But no, we have to bring the game director out, and it takes time. And so like maybe a pacing issue. I understand that. I mean, it's weird, right? Because this is the kind of grab bag show, right? This can be a bit of everything. So it is a bit of everything. So of course, not all of it's going to appeal to you. If you're watching the Nintendo show, chances are you care about Nintendo. And everything there is going to interest you a little bit. Here, there's just going to be a lot of things that you may not care about.
Yeah, I'm going to tweet it out real quick that we're live. And then, Mike, I guess, should we just kind of start from, you know, I have this rundown here from IGN, from Adam Bankhurst. He kind of did a rundown. And of course, he did it in the way you should do it, which is the most important at the top and work your way down. So I don't have a chronological order, but I think that's fine.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it. Okay, I agree. All right. So let's start with the big boy then. Elden Ring closed the show. That was very well done. I think, you know, he knew he had it. He knew he was gonna have to end with it, but he did a good job of like teasing it and keeping people on edge and building up suspense. And then when it happened, you could tell he was ready to explode. And I'm talking about Geoff Keighley. When he finally got to announce it, like, here it is, I'm really going to show it. You could tell he was.
I'm sure
almost
the day
giddy.
he secured that was a very happy day for Geoff Keighley.
Right. Yeah. I guess. Do we have any questions about that, or should I just kind of like talk about this a little bit, or
Well,
what?
what did you think? I mean, gosh, this has been a long journey. It's finally real. I'm surprised it hasn't released it. I almost wasn't expecting that. I thought we would just see it, but it's coming out January 21st, even like
Yeah.
sooner than I would have thought.
Sooner
That's
than I thought.
interesting.
You know, I'll say that this game was it was supposed to come out this year. Like that was the idea, of course. Like the reason people have been waiting so long to hear about it is because things just got pushed way back, and it definitely seems like the big issue is the last gen versions of the games. And now I was just on the Elden Ring website, and if you go to the Elden Ring website on Bandai Namco Entertainment or like Bandai Namco ent.eu, they have a page up for Elden Ring that's live now. And it says, 21/01/2022, so January 21st, 2022. But the only consoles it lists under there are Xbox One and PS4, and then the PC. It doesn't actually list next-gen versions on the website. Now, I hope that's just like a legacy thing. Right. But I do, I hope like that's, because what I heard was the last-gen versions were holding it back, and not like holding back in terms of like scope, but holding it back in terms of it's making the game more difficult to actually ship because the hardware is just not where they need it to be for their current scope of what the game is. I think that January 21st, 2022, while that is 2022, that's not this year, that is a bit out still. I do think it's a bit aggressive, and I agree with the initial reactions of some people who think that game still might get delayed again. I hope not.
Yes, sure.
Yeah,
sure,
but,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you think it looked good? I mean, I thought the trailer was very well done. It looks good. I mean, it does look like, Dark Souls.
Yes.
Which is, what else should it look like, right? I'm not mad about that.
No.
But yeah,
No,
I think people who are looking forward to it are happy.
Yeah, I think it definitely looks like a Dark Souls with horses, and I think that's what some people were wanting, or whatever they are, Yakuls, those like reindeers that you actually ride on there. I thought it did a good job of showing off like the From Software style with enemies who like have all the same capabilities as the hero that you play as. That's the thing that From Software games do really well, is like you're gonna go against the guy, and maybe he's a giant guy that you're fighting against, but his moveset is basically your moveset with maybe a few variations, and that's like really cool. And they showed that off in like the many of the fights that they showed glimpses of, and I got that sense, and I'm like, man, I really just want to get back into a From fight. I was for me, it's like Sekiro's the one that really won me over, and I was getting some Sekiro vibes from this as well, even though I know people wanted to go back to Dark Souls and stuff. Obviously, it's more Dark Souls than anything else, but I was just like, the things I loved about Sekiro, I was seeing in this trailer, and I think they just did a good job of like presenting something that's going to get people excited. There is the matter of why this game wasn't at the Xbox showcase. The word was always that Xbox had the co-marketing deal, and it's not there. It's at Geoff Keighley instead. And the one thing everyone always says to me when I bring that up is, well, everything at the Xbox show is going to be Game Pass. And first of all, that's not true. Not everything at the Xbox show is going to be Game Pass. But also, that's not the reason. Microsoft really wanted this game in their showcase, and they didn't end up getting it. So, that it's an open question there about what happened. And
are you sure you want to answer that question, Jeff?
No, I don't want to answer it specifically, because again, I feel like it would be, I'd be bordering too close to unfair speculation, like I said the last time we brought this up. So, but I do want people to like.
So I'll say it.
I want people to like consider it and like think like if anyone has any more insight, I would love to hear it. I basically want the conversation to be out there so that it's worth people asking questions. And I'm not the only one who like looks into Elden Ring stuff by far. There are people who are way more into Elden Ring and From Software than I am, and if they have insight into like what happened here, like what was the actual story, the backstory here, why ended up at Geoff Keighley's thing, I would love to hear it. And just to give a little bit more color there for people, it really was a matter of Bandai Namco turning down money from Microsoft for a deal to show this trailer at the Xbox showcase. So are they getting something instead, or did they just think it was best not to take that money? I don't know.
Yeah, put two and two together, people. Who could they possibly be worried about upsetting?
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. Yeah. Anything else on Elden Ring? Anything else it's kind of like weird that we're here, right?
Yeah, it's weird. That's a game that we can actually talk about and not just whatever. It is weird that leaked video was apparently just something that they did make and just never released, and it never will be released, right? That one
Mhm.
from, gosh, what was that, March we got that one in?
Right. Yes. Back in March. Yeah.
And that was a completely different thing. That was like a narrated voiceover, almost like a gameplay overview. And this was much more like a hype cinematic trailer, which I think was definitely the way to go.
Right. I agree. Totally. Yeah. January 21st, then Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC for sure. And then it seemed to me, oh, by the way, we just hit 1,000 concurrent viewers, Mike. Congratulations.
Ah, we did it. Oh my gosh. Hey, it happened.
Thanks, everybody.
Wait. Wait, no.
No, yep.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. Oh, wow, that was fun.
The note, but I found the starting note. There you go. Thank you, everybody.
I'll just edit it for the podcast version. I'm not going to edit it.
Hey, by the way, I looked at least at the end of the trailer for Elden Ring. It says Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 there. So
okay, good. I wonder what that's going to look like. I hope that it's like full supported versions for those consoles. And you imagine that that's why they are having issues with the last console. Because if this is coming out in 2022, they are now focusing on these new gen consoles. So yeah, thanks again, everybody. It's really nice to kind of hit that. And if you're watching, if you want to give that the thumbs up, that really helps more people find the show. Okay, yeah, Elden Ring. If do we have any questions about Elden Ring, or should we move on?
Why don't we got some Elden Ring stuff to talk about here. Brap, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast says Elden Ring hyped. Hey, Jeff and Mike. Hi. He also just said Sony didn't let that deal happen. Shut up with the muscle. Are you guys bummed about Elden Ring being cross-gen? So, I mean, look, about Sony not letting it happen. I don't think Sony like came out with the cops or anything and said, right? But I think, maybe they insinuated that wouldn't make them super happy. And look, that's again,
maybe.
Don't get on this whole like, oh, Sony is the devil or we're insinuating something. Like, that is normal video game industry capitalism stuff. It's nothing to get too super upset about. Maybe it's not super cool, but it's also not super unnormal. About Elden Ring being cross-gen, I mean, I think we all expected it for this game, right? Any game that was announced years ago, right, with the exception of like maybe stuff that was really far out, like Elder Scrolls 6, I expect is still going to be cross-gen.
Yes, again, that's also just kind of normal stuff right now. Everyone seems to be leaning that way because it's just the safe bet in terms of getting a return on your investment. We got a few questions about Elden Ring from the people in the Discord, the Patreon supporters. Sweet Nicole asks, do you know any details about what co-op in Elden Ring looks like? The site information says 1 to 4 players, and the website makes reference to traveling the world online with others. To me, it looked like it was going to work pretty similar to how Dark Souls has worked in the past, right? Where you are like a ghostly form visiting someone else's world, but it was hard to like make out more than that. So I don't have any insight into how this is going to work. Did you glean anything from that?
No, not really. It would be. I didn't even, because I like you was like doing 3 things while watching this, right?
Yes.
But so I wasn't like super paying attention to that. It almost feels like it's maybe time to do something a little bit different than the typical your ghost friend comes out. Maybe
right.
Like a truer co-op could be interesting, but I don't know.
Yeah,
but apparently chat says it looked more like Phantoms. So
yeah, it did look like Phantoms. I agree. But maybe they're beefing up that system. They didn't have anything like that in Sekiro, and so it's like they took some time off. Maybe they were rethinking that system and they're going to beef it up. Who knows?
It's weird because I know it's such an important part of these games. Whenever I play them, I actually like never use that stuff anyway.
Same. I think it's one of the reasons I did click with Sekiro so much is Sekiro didn't have leveling. It didn't have the friend system where people come into your world. It was literally you just had to get better at the game, and that was almost like, okay, I kind of respect that they're just being honest here. I'm just going to get better at this, and it really clicked with me.
Yeah. Speaking about getting better, I'm joking, but Metalfly just asked, will Elden Ring finally receive an easy mode?
I don't think it needs an easy mode. I think it needs the thing that Celeste had, right? A menu off to the side that doesn't say the words easy anywhere, doesn't have difficulty setting anywhere. It is just, do you want to tune this game for you? Do you need some extra help, some accessibility settings? Do you want like a double jump? Do you want a triple jump? Would that help? Do you want like...
Didn't the horse double jump in that trailer? Because that was pretty sweet.
I think so, yes. But like, in Celeste, you could like set the game to like 50% play speed. Like, It should just have all of those options. Most games should, and it honestly should just be like a console level at this point, so we don't even have to ever have this conversation ever again. Low Rule asks, if Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild 2 both come out next year, what wins Game of the Year?
Oh,
we
Breath
don't know.
Of the Wild 2.
Yeah,
I mean, I know. You're afraid. I know. I'll say it.
Well, no, I'm not afraid.
Too.
I just like I'm worried that like I might not like Breath of the Wild 2. I'm like I hope. I'm like afraid. Like I love Breath of the Wild so much. I'm like, what if Breath of the Wild 2 comes out and I don't like it?
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? I could see you doing that.
It'd be something Nintendo did.
I'm still reeling from the time you didn't like the Link's Awakening remake that much, and then you eventually came around to it. But I was all like, this is gonna make Geoff happier than anything, and I was like ready to feed off of your vibes, and then you were
I'm so sorry.
Like,
and then I had bad vibes.
When I was a kid.
Yeah,
your vibes were bad.
I had bad vibes. You're right. From Schaefer, do you think that the Elden Ring fans are finally happy now, or do you think they've moved on to the next outrage already? Listen, I think they're gonna be happy for a bit, and I think they will probably find something else to be anxious about next. That's just kind of the nature of the fandom, and that's a big fandom that is used to being upset or worried about the game and whether or not it's actually coming. If the thing gets delayed, they'll probably react pretty poorly to that. And I think that's just, they're going to be kind of feeding off each other. Hopefully it's not anything that's like detrimental or like hurts the developers or anything like that, but they might just be, if you like were to go check in on our Elden Ring, they might be like losing their minds. But if you kind of just keep the door closed, you won't even notice them for a while, I think. Which is what we're going to do. We're going to close the door on our Elden Ring. I think this is another one from Low Rule. Yeah. So now that Geoff is officially out of gamer prison, how did he manage to get Elden Ring away from Microsoft? Have you heard anything about it? So I would not phrase it like that. Geoff Keighley did not steal this away from Microsoft in any way, shape, or form. Geoff Keighley was he was doing the Summer Game Fest, and he existed as a console agnostic place to put this trailer. I think people are like, why wouldn't they just do it at the Bandai Namco show that is at E3? I think the reason, like, when we're saying put two and two together and people are suggesting Sony, the reason you start doing that is because Microsoft and Xbox has an association with E3. Like, Sony is left and Xbox is associated with E3. And so even like a Bandai Namco show that has the E3 badge on it might be too associated with Xbox. And so they wanted someone that is just completely agnostic, that Geoff Keighley doesn't do just Xbox, he doesn't just do PlayStation, he is completely separate from all that. And I think they were kind of like hoping that they could disassociate themselves with anything of like, oh, we are an Xbox game or we are a PlayStation game that is on other platforms, but we have a co-marketing deal, and you're going to see that little thing sizzle at the end of the trailer, which we don't. Like, I don't know, have we checked, is there an Elden Ring trailer on Xbox's YouTube page? Like, normally that's how this would go, right?
I don't think so. I mean, the other thing here is, don't forget, I mean, I assume more people are watching Summer Game Fest than are going to watch Bandai Namco's like kind of smaller-ish E3 thing, right?
I think so.
And the way you could have got more people watching that is if you teased incredibly heavily that Elden Ring was going to be there, which maybe, I think they want to go for more of a surprise than that, which, I mean, the surprise got kind of ruined anyways, but hey.
Yeah, Geoff Keighley was at a certain point was just like totally playing into it too, which was pretty funny to watch.
Because I think he wanted people to watch. I think he wanted people to think it was going to be there. So, which I completely understand. Captain James said on a super chat, it sounds like Sony paid them to me, lol. And again, that's not entirely what we mean to say. I don't think Sony paid them, but they maybe encouraged them not to get paid by Microsoft.
Yeah, that seems possible. I don't know. Yeah. Again, we're just trying to figure it out too. Like, we are speculating too. Okay, I don't have any other Elden Ring questions. Should we talk about other things from the show that looked good?
We have a lot of Death Stranding and Kojima questions.
Let's talk about that.
Because we got one from Nate. It's a Xbox employee here. It says, no Xbox/Kojima game, lol, you clown, got debunked, and then a bunch more clown emojis. Geoff, you were very clear that if Kojima showed up at E3, or specifically the Summer Game Fest, he would not be talking about the Microsoft thing because that deal is still being made. So
right, and of course,
I'll go and say that for you.
Yeah, and if they were going to show up, like if Kojima was going to talk about it, obviously it would be at the Xbox show. But I've said that he's not even going to be ready to talk about it at the Xbox show. They are still working out that agreement, and they're actively working on it for sure. They are actively working on it, but it's not going to be closed in time for E3, and they're not going to rush it and everything. So yeah, but whatever. Clown emojis. I mean, he paid money again, right? So whatever.
Yeah, Jonathan Lyons also asks, "What? So was the Kojima tease about the new game with Xbox, or is that not happening anymore? This was just about Death Stranding director's cut. The
Yeah,
Xbox thing. The earliest we might hear about that is Game Awards, if it happens. Like
the
again,
Tokyo Game Show, maybe. I don't know the timing.
Tokyo
Like,
Game Show, maybe.
yeah, one of those, maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
Keighley's not a Tokyo Game Show. What the heck?
Yeah, it was very funny that like he was at like Kojima comes on to talk about Death Stranding director's cut. That's the game that get announced here, but most of it was just Geoff and Kojima talking to each other, and that's what the whole segment was really about. And I mean, yeah, they're just friends who just want to chill, and you gotta respect that. What do you think of the director's cut? The sort of Metal Gear Solid style.
Well, Daniel
tease?
Kamba asked, "What's up with the heavy Metal Gear Solid teasing for Kojima?" And I don't know. I think Kojima's just a weirdo. I think he just thought it would be funny. I have no idea. Like, clearly, it's not like you're gonna play Metal Gear Solid in that game. Like, it's a director's cut, so maybe there are some Metal Gear Solid inspired levels. Like that thing we showed. I'm sure that is some kind of new mission thing in that game. I'm sure, but it's not like, I don't think he's teasing that he is also making a new Metal Gear game. I mean, I know everyone's best hope is that Sony is just going to get the rights to Metal Gear and get Kojima to make another game or something, or even a remake. I don't think that was necessarily being teased here.
Yeah, and it's like hard to tell because I'm like, oh, he's gonna get in the box and sneak around, and he's just gonna like do some Metal Gear Solid VR missions here in this game, and then Norman Reedus jumps into the box like a weirdo, like an absolute freak, and like he literally just like jumps in the box, like he doesn't know how to step in the box, and like of course they're playing as a joke, and then he just stands in the box for a bit, doesn't understand how it works, and then puts it back on the shelf. So I don't think there's box-based stealth gameplay in this game. I think they were just making a joke, and it's weird, but whatever.
Hey, Blake Merritt asks or talks about Death Stranding. PlayStation 5 was my E3 2021 dream. Any thoughts or insight on release date? Also, any thoughts or insight on the reveal event in the coming weeks?
What game is this? I'm sorry, my kid was yelling at me right when you said that part.
Death Stranding. Still.
Oh, okay. I mean, yes. I don't know. I think this is the first I've like really thought about. Like, people have asked before, like, when is the PS5 version of Death Stranding going to come out? And I'm like, okay, I'm sure that's going to happen, but I haven't thought about it much. So, and then now it's like, now that I see this, it's like, oh yeah, they are going to do that. And they're going to do it as director's cut. And it's going to be a PS5 specific version. It'll probably get some upgrades. But beyond that, I really don't know what to expect from this game and what the timeline looks. They just said coming soon. So that makes me wonder if like they have a date for later this year, but they're afraid to say it. Unlike From Software, which are not cowards.
We have a bunch of super chats about me. That's great. That's even better than Death Stranding. Paul Heyman wants me to play a song, huh? I'll do it again. Wait. It's hard right now because I'm using push to talk at the moment, so I can only play songs that use these first three notes, which thankfully, which is basically just that and the Mary Tyler Moore theme song I can play like this also. I won't do that right now.
Yeah, I want it before the end of the show, though, absolutely, or at least before the end of E3.
Slow-mo backslap says there were so many musical numbers in the Summerfest event. I was expecting Mike to perform with his flute. Yeah, Keighley, come give me a call, man. I'll learn some goddamn Sonic Unleashed songs.
Sorry, I'm getting some scoop details about what's going to happen at, I think, GameStop next week right now. So you keep talking for a second.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you're going to share with the class because now you're teasing us.
Well, no,
I really
that's why.
I really have to play Mary Tyler Moore now, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, let's see. Look, we're gonna make it after all. There it is.
Okay. So yeah, basically, it's just I think previously I've said and elsewhere I've said that on Wednesday of next week they should get a lot of Xbox Series X and S's. On Tuesday, to go along with like the Zelda 35th anniversary and the Switch and the Direct that they're going to have that day from Nintendo, it sounds like they also should get in a pretty big shipment of Switches. So I guess that's the new thing. But you know, those haven't been too hard to get in recent weeks.
I don't think Switches were too much of a thing.
Yeah.
One more that's about me, Louis Patelli. I had a dream that Mike spoiled every E3 reveal and got fired for it. Then Keighley challenged him to a trial by combat for the soul of video games. This is a very specific dream. You have to tell me if I won or if he just challenged me. Maybe tonight he'll get to the part where we fight. Trial by combat.
I hope you have a sequel to your dream. Good luck with that. Yeah.
That's always the work. Sometimes I try to do that, and it's impossible to
Yeah,
actually
it never
do that.
works. Yeah, I've fallen asleep and like had it start again, like if I woke up for a second and I'm like, oh wait, I'm gonna go back. I've been able to get back in that way, but never the next night. All right, Death Stranding we've touched on, Elden Ring we've touched on. If you have any more questions about either of those two things or anything else that's like kind of tangentially related to E3 and Summer Game Fest, let us know.
The Nate is a Xbox employee guy. Sent us more money to yell at you about something else. I'm gonna stop reading them, but he can keep sending money. That's
yeah, for
fine.
sure. And I totally saw them. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I don't know. They brought out Ashley Birch, who's one of the voice actors who's working on the game, who plays Tiny Tina. And they asked her directly, hey, is this going to be a Borderlands game or is it its own thing? And she says it's not a Borderlands game. And Mike,
that sounds like marketing BS to me. It's clearly, it's a looter shooter. It's just because it's like that one DLC, right, where she was a dungeon master and it took place inside of the D&D campaign, basically. So that's all that's happening. If you want to say that's somehow not a Borderlands game, okay, but it's clearly a spinoff.
To me, looks like a Borderlands game. It's got a high fantasy setting, right? That's the big difference.
Well, because it's a D&D campaign, basically, as presumably, if it's like that DLC. Like, they don't want to call it a spinoff because it makes it sound like a lesser thing, right?
Less than, yes.
I think they don't want this to be perceived like the pre-sequel was, right? Which I think a lot less people bought because it seemed like, oh, this isn't as big a deal as the next Borderlands or something. So I was thinking, I think it's gonna be interesting. Neat. You get there's like a full-on character creator this time, so that's something. I'm sure there are things to distinguish this from Borderlands. I still think it's a little weird to try to be like, this is completely separate. Also starring a character from Borderlands, and her name's in the title.
Voice actors include Andy Samberg, Wanda Sykes, Ashley Birch, and Will Arnett. I feel like whenever like Andy Samberg or Wanda Sykes comes to video games, I always want to be like, oh, welcome to video games. Please don't pay too much attention to us. We can get pretty weird over here or embarrassing or something like that. But, you know, I think this game seems like a good fit for them in terms of it's going to have that comedic tone or whatever. I don't know if the Borderlands writing has been up to snuff recently, but whatever. I
kind of just completely missed out on 3. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I kind of know why, but I'm afraid to say it. But I didn't really play much of 3. Hey, I got an update on my fight to the death with Geoff Keighley.
All right.
Louis Patelli says that his dream ended before combat begins. So my question is, who would win, Mike or Keighley? That sounds like a question for you, Jeff.
I think that well, man, I don't know. How would you do in a fight? For the soul of video games, I think you would win.
Much, Jeff. I have not been in very many fights in my life. One could say I have been in no fights.
I bet Geoff Keighley hasn't been in any fights either. But I think that
that's true.
I think Geoff Keighley would collapse under the pressure of fists. I think that, and you probably would eventually too, but not after like just the threat of fist. I think he would probably. Yeah, no offense, Geoff Keighley, but yeah.
I'm a big guy. I will just go and tackle him to the ground or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. You just kind of do like the monkey smash on his chest or something.
Are we really talking about how I would defeat Geoff Keighley
in this man's dream? That's all.
I would fight dirty. I would bite. I've watched a lot of pro wrestling. I know to poke people's eyes. I'm going to do that move where they rake the back and then the person sells it like it's death for some reason.
Slap his chest. Yeah. All right. Metal Slug Tactics. I am excited about this game.
That looks neat. That was probably the coolest actual surprise. Like I had no idea that was coming, and it looks really cool. I mean, I love .emu, all the stuff that they work on reviving these classic franchises is fantastic. And this is neat because it's not just straight up, oh, it's a new Metal Slug. They're doing something really different with it, making it somewhat tactical. Are you upset that this doesn't look more like Advance Wars? Because if you had said Metal Slug Tactics, I maybe would have.
Imagine
thought
that
it would be more that route. Instead, this looks more Final Fantasy Tactics-ish or Tactics Ogres or something. Yeah. So does that anger you?
It doesn't anger me, but that is what I like when they started talking about at the beginning of the trailer. Like 10 seconds later, that is what I was imagining, and that's what I was hoping for. I'm still gonna try this game. I bet it's gonna be pretty good still, but it's not exactly what I was hoping for. But you know, they were gonna make it. They're going to make it more Metal Slug than anything else, right? That makes sense that they're going to have to try to do their own thing. But I'm gonna check it out. It is at least a very good looking game, and they've done some good jobs with the anime stylings for the trailer itself of suggesting a style for the game. It looks cool. We touched on Death Stranding. What about Jeff Goldblum? What did he have to say?
Making a sequel to Jurassic Park, Evolution? Yes, which was that pretty neat park building game from Frontier Developments. So the guys who did Planet Coaster, I liked that game. So, but there was room for improvement, like more customization, more theming and stuff. So I think a sequel will be interesting. I think some people were like who weren't really in tune or remember Evolution thought that they were maybe getting some kind of like big AAA dinosaur Jurassic Park game. But this is actually more up my alley anyway, so I'm happy.
Good. I thought I don't know. Jeff Goldblum's energy is always strange. This is one of the things I was talking about before we started, where I was like the vibes. Like they did stop to talk to celebrities, maybe a few too many times. I think Jeff Goldblum probably could have got away with it because he's just so weird, and whenever he talks about stuff, he does it like he knows that he's just gonna bring a weird energy, and that was fine. But then I think like the interview with like Giancarlo Esposito later was like, I like that actor, but I didn't need to hear that long from him. And like talk.
Wait. You didn't enjoy hearing Ryan Reynolds make an Elden Ring joke?
Yeah, I guess I did enjoy that specific part, but also I don't think we needed to stop the show to talk to Ryan Reynolds. That was very funny, though, that he's like, yeah, I'll make the joke about Elden Ring. And that actually wasn't funny. It was when Geoff Keighley said, oh, he could say it, but I can't say it yet. It was like, oh, okay, he's really leaning into this.
I gotta when we get through some of these super chats, so I
let's do it, please.
Keeping track of them. So Mun 840 says, "Congrats on the 1K plus viewers. Thank you very much."
Thank you,
Mun. Skittles. Why do I get the feeling Capcom was aiming to release Dragon's Dogma 2 within a month of Elden Ring prior to today? Capcom loves them January dates. Capcom does love releasing games in January, but I mean, Dragon's Dogma is still not even really announced yet, right? So
right.
Maybe we're speculating. That would make sense, and maybe they would blink now if they know that Elden Ring is supposed to come out around then.
Yeah, and I think there's a good chance that game wouldn't be ready till later next year anyhow. But you're right that they do love those early in the year dates. So if it was ready, maybe that's what they were planning. I think they probably shouldn't blink though. If that's their plan, stick to it. And I bet Elden Ring has to get delayed. So yeah, more super chats.
Yeah, we got a few more here. Christopher asked, "Do you think that him putting the Xbox on the shelf is just symbolism that Hideo is done with Metal Gear Solid for good?" In the trailer, the cardboard box. When you said shelf, I immediately started thinking about.
Yeah, but yeah, of course, yeah.
But no, I mean, gosh, it's Metal. Who knows? Gosh, I didn't read into it like that. You almost had me convinced now, but I don't think so. I think it's just all nonsense. I think he's just evoking Metal Gear Solid because he wanted to.
Yeah, I think. I mean, he does like his metaphors, right? He loves to play in that space where he thinks that he's being deep, but obviously, if that's the metaphor, it's very obvious. But I think Mike might be right, where it's like, I'm just going to mess with people. Also, that's the thing I like to do more than anything, and I think that's the thing Hideo Kojima loves more than anything is just messing with fans and getting them thinking one thing, and he's going to go in another direction, and he's going to wear prosthetics on his face or whatever, and friggin' bandages. That is Kojima.
About how you thought the tone was maybe weird. Josh Tarpley says, Jeff was like, any games to announce? Well, Jeff, COVID is destroying over here, and 9/11 changed the element forever. Here's a trailer.
Hideo Kojima did say in Japanese the words 9/11. So yeah.
9/11 we had Hitler come up.
Yeah. It was just a weird show. Yeah. Like, yeah, I mean, we guess we could have known that like COVID was going to come up, but of course Kojima's going to like bring up and say, "Oh, it's just like 9/11 all over again." I'm like, "Oh, okay, it is. All right, man. Okay."
I'm not laughing at 9/11.
No, but, it is. But it is very weirdly, darkly funny.
People made me feel bad about laughing at Yuji Naka last time, and I did feel bad. But sometimes I just nervously laugh. I'm sorry.
It is darkly funny. To like a video game show. That
What's funny? Just... Yuji Naka or 9/11?
Okay, moving on.
Jonathan Lines. Do you know if X? What do you want to say?
I was going to say I don't know how people ask for refunds for their super chats. Is what I was going to say.
Oh, that's our money now. That's going into the Arby's promotion fund. Okay, I took a tangent. Why do you suck? Why are you the worst? Why do you mess up everything I ask you to do? Why couldn't you get an Arby's promotion for us? If you didn't see, I asked Jeff. I'm like, Jeff, get us a promotion from Arby's. You can do this. You're a big man now. You know,
I don't believe
you're
this part.
You're a powerful gamer tweeter. You're a powerful gamer tweeter. They will
Powerful gamer
respect and
tweeter.
fear you. So what you do is you tweet them, you just at them, and you go, Mike wants me to ask you for free food. So, you know, it's like you're not taking it seriously. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
I don't believe that I'm a powerful enough gamer tweeter to make this happen. They didn't even acknowledge us.
I think you're underestimating yourself. We got 1,200 people watching us live right now screaming about Arby's. You are powerful now.
The reason they don't give us money is because we give it away. We're always talking about Arby's. We haven't gone a month without talking about Arby's. Like,
yeah, but they can send us merch. It'll be so much more professional.
Yeah, I would wear the hat.
It's silly, I grant you, but it's not a joke.
No.
I love Arby's.
Yes.
It's good. Did you know the original Arby's opened just 5 miles away from where I am sitting right now in Boardman, Ohio?
I did not know that. Man, a lot of fast food places got started in Ohio. Is that why Ohio's like a test bed or whatever it is? Yeah,
Wendy's was in Columbus, but Arby's was right here. It's meant to be Arby's. It's going to happen anyway. There's something about a super chat, right? Yes, Jonathan Lines is asking, do you know if Xbox will have any special remasters or ports of classic OG Xbox games to celebrate the 20th anniversary at the showcase on Sunday? Which ones are even left to remaster?
I don't know. Well, there's the one
Halo.
What's the one your brother likes?
There's Crimson Skies. They're not going to do that.
Right, yeah. I think that's what it is.
Remastered Fable.
I think a lot of them aren't going to get remastered, is what it is. That they're not in a place to do that.
The big one that's left is KOTOR, which is rumored to get remastered, but I don't think Microsoft is necessarily involved with that.
Yeah, I wonder if that game could show up there at the Xbox show. There's still that level of game where I'm not sure exactly what they've gotten in terms from third-party partners to show up there. Who else would? I guess that's a EA game, right? So maybe in July, because that's just a straight-up EA game through and through. So. I guess I don't know. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, do we have any more super chats?
So, yeah, I've got 4 more here.
Okay.
So Pablo L's actually talking about that shelf symbolism again. Kojima shelving the cardboard box and telling whoever is taking it over to handle with care is sweet. See, man, people were reading into this much more intelligently.
That's probably right. Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah. And then he said, also, made me forget he mentioned 9/11 choice. Daniel Kumba says, bring back Blinks the Cat. I never played Blinks the Cat. Part of me wonders, was Blinks good, actually? Not that anybody hated Blinks, but people didn't seem to like him very much either.
The thing is, there's a lot of lineage between some of the people who worked on Blinks and Balan Wonderworld. If you wanted some insight into what to think about Blinks. I think Blinks is definitely better than Balan Wonderworld.
That's absolutely has to be true.
Yeah,
it's sort of ambitious just from what I know about it.
Right, exactly. But it's also not a great platformer. Definitely not.
Pixelated Pigeon asks, thoughts on Planet of Lana? First time I've seen that. Looks incredible. I'm a sucker for hand-drawn games. Keep up the fantastic work. This was the one that almost kind of looked like what's the game with the silhouette 2D side score kind of thing? One of those. Yeah,
Inside or whatever.
It almost kind of looked like that, but not quite as dreary, obviously.
Right. I thought it looked good. Neat. Yeah, it looked really good to me, for sure. I was the game that had that style that I was most impressed by through this show was still Sable, which we've seen before, but now got a release date, September 23rd. So I'm looking forward to that.
Azure Ruiz asks, hello, skeleton hair Jeff and inverted hair and beard Mike. How many studios does Microsoft need to achieve their pipeline of at least one major game per quarter? Right now, 23 and 3 more rumored isn't enough, in my opinion. It might be enough.
Yeah, I think it's probably enough. It's probably right there where it's they'll probably get to that point at the end of 2022, even if they don't add more studios, but that'll ensure that there aren't any weird lags in the future, and they're not going to be afraid of dropping 2 big games in a quarter at certain points in the future. That stuff never hurts Netflix if they drop a bunch of shows all at once. It only ever seems to help their subscriber numbers. So I think Microsoft's thinking something similar along those lines. We'll see if those 3 new studios that are rumored actually end up happening, but if it does, 26 studios, it's quite a few, and I think they'll easily be able to keep up with one game a quarter at that point.
Couple more here. Jedi Moss 4 asks, is there a method to what third-party games get picked to be in Nintendo Directs versus another presentation? I mean, it's just there's a lot of factors. It depends on if the partner is down with it, which normally they would want to be, but maybe there's a better deal somewhere. Maybe they're going to get a marketing promotion from Sony or Microsoft. There's a lot that goes into that, right, Geoff?
Yeah, I think so. I think that a lot of it just comes down to having a good relationship with the people who make those decisions is probably a big part of it. I think if you are a studio that has made a lot of money for Nintendo, like the Hades team, what's the Supergiant? If they go and say, hey, we have another game, Nintendo, can we be in a direct? Nintendo's going to say yes, because Hades has made a lot of money for Nintendo. So they would definitely do that. It's something along those lines, usually.
The T Bryn says, give me Crash Bandicoot, Geoff, and Smash Brothers. I don't know why he's asking you. I'm the one who knows about Smash Brothers. So
yeah,
if you had asked me, I would have made it happen. But sorry.
What's your current Smash prediction for the last two characters?
Crash has actually been in my top of my prediction list for a while now. The only thing that makes me skeptical of it is, well, one, there have not been very many Western characters in these DLC passes. It's been very Japanese focused and very JRPG focused specifically. Yep. But like, you would think we're due, and Crash Bandicoot certainly makes sense. But I mean, they haven't had anyone else from Activision Blizzard in there, right? So maybe they're just not willing to make a deal on this kind of a thing. I don't know. But this Crash Bandicoot, I know that Insane Trilogy did very well on Switch, and I'm pretty sure Crash 4 did well on Switch. So why not? I expect we're going to hear about certainly at least one character for Smash on Nintendo's Direct, maybe even both.
Yeah. Mike, I have some other questions, but I was wondering if there were any other games that stood out to you, because we've touched on some of the big ones. I guess the thing I would want to ask you the most is, how do you feel about the 2B skin for Fall Guys? You ready to get back to Fall Guys for that?
Well, oh yes, absolutely. I feel incredibly titillated. I don't know how to follow that. Pass.
If anyone hasn't seen that, there's just something about that. It's 2Bean is what people are calling her now, of course.
2Bean, yeah. It's funny because there's that near raid in Final Fantasy 14, so I've already been seeing a lot of 2B.
Right. Yep. All right, I got some questions here. And think about if there's anything else from the show you want to talk about, but I got a couple I want to ask here. See, does Monster Hunter Stories 2 being at Summer Game Fest and not next week's Direct bode well for the level of the Direct expectations, or are those things entirely unrelated and Capcom just wanted to remind us it's coming? That's basically the fact that it's not in the Direct. Does that mean there wasn't enough time to fit something like this in the Direct, and everything else that's in there is going to be bigger than this?
Man, that's a good hope. I mean, that's a nice thought, because there is a Capcom thing also, right? So, like, why isn't it in either of those? Now, maybe Capcom just wanted to throw Geoff Keighley a bone, right? They want to be part of the thing, and like, this game's already been announced, it's coming out. We can give you this one, and maybe we're going to see that same exact trailer at Nintendo or at Capcom's thing. That is completely possible. We've seen that kind of thing happen before. So optimistically, hey, maybe everything's just going to be so fire at Nintendo that we had no time for crummy old Monster Hunter Stories too. But I'm not super convinced.
Yeah, that question was from Sir Drew. Here's one from Cunnin Lingist.
Nice.
Good name. Did anything get you more hype than you expected? And conversely, did anything feel like a bit of a letdown? I think I already said that the Metal Slug Tactics game got me more excited than I would have expected, for sure.
I agree with that. Yeah, I was pretty pumped by that. I guess I was more excited for Elden Ring than I thought. Like, that's a game I actually would have zero hype or excitement for, except like because of your involvement. I suddenly have this cachet with it. I'm invested now, so I was like, oh yeah, woo, Elden Ring, it's here, let's go. Woo, chat boys, So yeah, I don't think anything was like, oh, this is stupid and dumb necessarily, right? Everything was fine. I think it was like another Left 4 Dead game. I forget what that was. And
the Anacrusis,
I'm sure it's fine, but it's sure are a lot of games coming out that are like Left 4 Dead, I feel like.
Yeah, I bet I don't know. I wonder if there's enough room for all those games, but I think the Anacrusis might appeal to a different audience and might have a chance to survive based on that. And it seems like they've got some of the writers who worked on Left 4 Dead working on that game, Chet Felichek and stuff. And they talked about like the AI director working in that game. It seems like they have a good idea about that. But
I guess I was pretty disappointed when Overwatch 2 showed up that they really did just show us a couple of skins. I thought we would get like a character reveal.
Well, and that Tarkov segment was like very, it was like meandering.
I tuned out.
Yeah, I tuned out. Yep. Let's see. We got some like questions related to later in the week. One Wildfire Trees asked, "Will we get an alpha or a beta?" But he did not include what game he was talking about. Do you have any idea?
Well, then yes and
yes.
no.
Yes and no. Okay. We'll see if he follows up anywhere about that. Okay. Mike, any other things from the show that you want to talk about? Anything else that got you excited?
I think that's it. There was a lot. I'm sure, like some things that slipped my mind. I'm sure there were some things that looked nice enough. We saw some Tales of Arise. I'm excited for that. Although, like, anime games are always bad with trailers. Maybe I'm crazy, but there's such a difference between like anime voice acting and normal game voice acting, and sometimes the games are very anime voice acting ish, and it always sounds especially bad in a trailer. I don't know if that makes any sense. Again, I'm looking forward to Tales of Arise, but it's clearly some voice actors who mostly voice act anime. Like the best voice acting in a Final Fantasy game has been Final Fantasy 12 because they very like somewhat famously didn't get anime voice actors right. Maybe I'm misunderstanding that. I'm just talking off of memory. So I hope I'm not upsetting the anime. I almost called them weebs, which wouldn't help. But I hope I'm not upsetting the anime aficionados with that. I don't know if that's a controversial statement or not.
I think you could have said fellow weebs because you're a weeb too, and that would have.
I'm a video game weeb. I don't watch any anime or anything. But yeah, I play a lot of like Final Fantasy 14. Oh yeah, what about that? What about that new Sony studio? Do you know what's up with that? They kind of were hyping.
Dean wrote about that, but
Deviation.
Yeah, and I don't know if it sounded like it wasn't another Sony studio, but it sounded like it was like they're doing one of those second party publishing deals.
Okay.
I honestly tuned out during that as well.
But there'll be something there. What do you think? I don't know. What do you think about Koch Media's new publishing deal? Or publishing label, the Prime Matter. We got Payday 3 incoming. We're bringing back some shooter franchises I already forget the name of, but it's coming back. And what do you think about the Homeworld people making an RTS in the Crossfire universe?
Yeah, that was weird. I feel like I had heard that like Crossfire RTS somewhere, and that those words just did not compute with me at all. I think you told me about this, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? What are you talking about?
The franchise, the shooter franchise.
Yeah. So I really had a hard time even understanding that, even once we started seeing it. But the Koch stuff, which you did learn how to say Koch for us. You went and like
I had a pre-briefing, and it's not Coach, it's not Cock. Were you ready? I thought you might be ready. Damn.
I got it.
It's Koch is how they say it. Which maybe we'll just call it Prime Matter from now on. We'll be okay. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. That sizzle reel looked. There were some cool looking games in there, but it's there was like also something generic about a lot of it. So I'm like, I want to play them and see if these kids have attitude.
I saw a lot of those games in more detail, and some of them did look pretty nice. There was like some trends for sure. There was like at least 3 of them that looked like Souls-like. Basically, then there was one that was like I think it was called Final Form. It basically looked like kind of Metroid Primus, but more shooter focused, and it looked kind of neat. So that has potential. So there's some interesting stuff there. Payday 3 is a whiles away for people who are excited about that. Not till 2023, but it is coming.
Okay, so Deviation Games is a new studio led by Dave Anthony and Jason Blundell, formerly of Call of Duty shop Treyarch. So they're former Treyarch devs starting this new thing. So maybe this is going to be like one of their first party sort of live service games.
This is like maybe a Respawn thing, right? Those guys left. They left. Infinity Ward made Respawn, which was much better. Yeah,
maybe that would be fantastic. I would love something like that. All right, Mike. I got a couple questions that are less related to Summer Game Fest, more related to E3, but we can answer those and then get out of here. What do you think?
Sure. Are any of them about Cyberpunk and their bizarre news drop during Summer Game Fest?
Right.
Maybe we should talk about that.
Should we talk? Because we're going to do kind of a normal show tomorrow. Should we talk about that in the news tomorrow, or should we talk about it today?
I guess we could talk about the news tomorrow, but let's just say the timing sure was funny to be like, oh, hey, everybody, those hackers got your personal data. Hope you're not too busy with anything else right now to see this. like, do you guys think that you're like really clever or something?
Yeah. I mean... there is a possibility it was a coincidence. Maybe no. They probably they're in the video games. They had to know that we would all be watching that. So that was a weird one. We'll talk about that more tomorrow because I do want to look at seeing exactly what they're saying there and see what people are saying in response to it.
Tomorrow we'll talk about Rick and Morty and Fortnite. Don't worry, I'm sure that'll take up at least 40 minutes.
All right, from Low Rule, blink twice if you've heard about the new 2D Metroid game from a source. I have, but it was not like not something I was super confident in until I started hearing other people kind of confirm it separately.
We've been quote unquote hearing about it forever now.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Because you also were hearing about the Metroid Prime trilogy, and then that guy who used to work there was like, "That's not happening," and that's weird. But
he just said it would have been hard. To be fair, he said it would have been hard to do.
You still think it's done?
Yeah,
I'm asking for my own benefit at this point because I want to believe.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. As far as I know, yeah. It's like a Pikmin situation.
So I know to be mad at you when I don't get it now.
Exactly.
Okay. Just like everyone else on the internet, I'll be mad at you. I mean, I'm already mad at you because of fucking Arby's, but that's fine.
All right, I'll get the Arby's money, Mike. All right, I'll figure it out.
I think you still think it's a joke. I think you still think it's funny.
You said you would vet my tweets next time, so
I'm basically gonna write it for you.
Okay.
But we have to wait a bit. We have to wait for E3 to blow over. We have to wait for your first awful attempt to blow over, and then we'll get back at that.
All right. I'm gonna get some Arby's now. From Jimmy DeBra, I know Zelda is far bigger, and its 35th anniversary. Okay, I'm sorry. I know Zelda is far bigger, and it's the 35th anniversary for Zelda, but it's also Fire Emblem's 30th anniversary. Will we hear anything about Fire Emblem at the Nintendo Direct?
So, like, gosh, if it was going to be anything, it would be smaller. Like, maybe they're going to port the next... I don't know, because the next Fire Emblem's the one they already... Because we got Fire Emblem 1 ported, and they already remade the second one. So I'm not even sure which one's next. So maybe another port or a remake. But I don't think we're going to get like the sequel to Three Houses talked about yet. I'm sure they're working on that. I don't think they're talking about that yet. I don't think there's going to be anything super special for the 30th anniversary of Fire Emblem. And that's the problem once you start celebrating anniversaries by a division of 5. There's going to be a zillion of them.
Yeah, every year at that point. Yeah, there will be one at least.
It's kind of arbitrary now.
Jackson Tench, will Nintendo make me happy or sad this year? I think let's just bet on sad. I think that's usually the safe bet.
I mean, how much do you like Zelda?
Right, yeah. But they'll still do something to make you sad, right? Like,
sure.
Because like maybe you liked Mario last year, but they still found ways to make that kind of sad by like, oh, it's a limited time thing, and Super Mario 35 is going to go away.
Yeah, the All-Stars ports aren't fantastic, and there's no Mario Galaxy 2, and all these weird little things.
It's also Donkey Kong's anniversary apparently, and I was on the show with Nate the Hate and MVG, and MVG brought up an idea of like a Donkey Kong 99 for that, and I'm like, oh, like the original arcade game, setting that up with like a 99 style play battle royale sort of thing. They could really make that work. I would love that. I've been thinking about it ever since he said it. So yeah. From Sosuke, if Microsoft is to acquire 3 new acquisitions, would it be IO Interactive, Avalanche, and Asobo? I think Asobo is definitely like in talks there. Asobo being the one that did Flight Simulator. The rumors I've heard are all over the place. I haven't confirmed anything. These are rumors that I've heard. It was IO Interactive, Avalanche, and Crytek. But I have no idea of like where they stand with those things. So if that stuff's going to be ready for E3, I guess we'll hear soon.
Isn't it weird that Microsoft wasn't able to lock down Moon Studios for an acquisition? Like there must have been some interest. Yeah,
I wonder what the thinking is there. I mean, most of the studios they've acquired have made like kind of bigger games. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Well, because Moon's next game is just going to be published by Private Division, and Moon is still independent. I think so. They could be bought, but maybe they just really didn't want to be, or maybe Microsoft wasn't interested for some reason. I don't know. But it seems like if Microsoft's spending money, and we know that Ori was successful enough, at least sales-wise. I'm not super sure, but it was certainly a giant critical hit, and that had to count for something. You think they would have been interested?
Wildfire Trees corrected his previous one or added to it. Alpha or beta for Elden Ring. My bad from earlier. I don't think they'll do that because that game's going to sell. Yeah, we should have guessed. That game's going to sell so well no matter what. They don't really need to do like a marketing sort of alpha or beta, right? They're just gonna work on the game, get it finished, and then release it.
I mean, have these games from Software had betas before? I'm not really sure. It doesn't seem like.
I don't think so.
That's right.
And then Sensei Bustelo, Crash Bandicoot mascot outfit for Mii Fighter in Smash. Yeah,
man, I hope it's just actually. That would be funny. I see what you're talking about now. I think I'd rather just have Crash Bandicoot in there.
Yeah, instead of like like the
Pizza Hut
mascot
commercial, Crash Bandicoot. Yeah,
right, yelling outside of Nintendo in Seattle or whatever,
with a
right?
megaphone.
The
Yeah,
megaphone, yes.
That's funny. But I think I'd rather just have Crash Bandicoot.
Making sure I didn't miss anything. When will
Georgie is saying that Microsoft tried to acquire Moon, but Moon wanted to remain independent. I feel like that's what happened.
Okay.
Maybe that actually is known, because that had to be what happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Moon's going to ever regret that, because I'm sure they probably could have gotten some money. But hey.
Grod Lesdor asks, when will we hear about Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania? I don't know. I hope we hear about it soon, but does Sega have anything in this E3 anywhere? I don't remember. I don't think they're in like E3 proper.
Man, I'm bad at this kind of thing. No comment.
Me too. Okay, me too. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't. I think
yes,
Sega,
I don't remember.
So if it was going to be anywhere, we'd have to like show up at like a. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Sega's gonna. No, I can't. Never mind. I don't think I can say anything. I mean, I don't have anything to say.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we hear about it soon. All right. I don't have any other questions for now. We got some stuff that's going to be more related to the podcast tomorrow when we do like a normal podcast. I don't know anything else that you want to say about that show though, or should we get out of here?
No, I think I'm about done. If you guys want to get a super chat in, this is your last call for alcohol, as they say.
All right then. No, let's talk about what we're gonna do about for the rest of this week. So tomorrow we're gonna do a regular episode of the Games Beat Decides podcast, and we'll try to do it around the normal time. I think I can't remember if there's anything happening that day, but we'll get in a normal episode sometime tomorrow. And then on Saturday we'll be reacting to the first batch of stuff. I think like Ubisoft is the big one. There's a few others. And then on Sunday there's Microsoft. Monday is stuff like Capcom, right? And then on Tuesday we have Nintendo. So yeah, we'll be doing podcasts like these after each one of those. So if you want to get our reactions, that's when we'll be doing them. And of course, if you're watching this later on YouTube, that's fine as well. We'll be putting all these archives up as well. So just keep an eye out for that. But if you want to watch live, the best way to do that is youtube.com/JeffreyGrubb. And if you want to get our news stories that we write, that's on GamesBeat. And then if you want to follow me, I'm at Geoff Grubb. Mike is at Tolkoto, Tolkoto. And then join the Discord. The Discord is open, and also because we got boosted enough, we have a vanity now. So discord.gg/gamemess. So discord.gg/gamemess, GAMEMESS. You can just put that in and it'll take you right to it. So if you want to join the Discord, that's the best way to do that now. And yeah,
watch our E3 segment tomorrow.
And then watch our E3 segment tomorrow. Is that tomorrow? No, it's Saturday.
What time is ours at?
We're on Saturday.
Oh, is it Saturday? That's right. Tomorrow's. Yeah. I keep thinking tomorrow's like the first official day of E3. Tomorrow's really just IGN and some others. There's something else smaller, right? Yeah. But yes, on Saturday, watch our thing. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
2:30 p.m. I think is when we are Pacific time. So
2:30 p.m. after Pacific time on Saturday.
Once everyone tunes out to go like watch their favorite stuff and no one's watching anymore, we'll be going then basically.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Anything else?
I think it's the last thing scheduled that day.
Yeah, it is.
I think we're done. Thanks, hey guys. Thanks for over 1,000 concurrents. That's incredible. That's insane.
Feels really good, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with another new episode, tomorrow and then through the weekend. Until then, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.
Bye.